Let's go ahead and bring in Itay Milner. He's spokesperson for the Israeli consulate in New York. Sir, thanks for taking time with us this afternoon. A moment ago, Ambassador Regev characterized today and everything that we've seen and heard as bittersweet. He said, obviously, it's a wonderful day for the families of the hostages who were freed. It also highlights the plight that's still ahead for the remaining people, Israelis and foreigners in Hamas captivity. How are you feeling?
I think I described it pretty well. It is bittersweet. For me personally, I find some comfort to see some of the hostages that I already know very well from posters around New York City and from information that I read about, to finally see them again, and frankly to see that some of them look like they're okay, all right. We know that some of them are not all right, and they were taken to a hospital for treatment. But it's certainly a ray of light in these very, very dark times. But yeah, we are also very concerned and worried for the more than 200 hostages that are still in Gaza. We hope that the next few days we will see the release of more of them, but we can't know for sure until they're actually crossing to the border to Israel, because Hamas has proven one after another that they're not following their words.
I'm curious what you think of President Biden. I don't know if you got a chance to hear President Biden's remarks a few moments ago. I'll play one soundbite from him here, where he talks about why October 7th unfolded the way that it did, why he believes, not based on intelligence, he says that it happened when it did. I'd like to get your response on the other side.
I cannot prove what I'm about to say, but I believe one of the reasons why Hamas struck when they did was they knew that I was working very closely with the Saudis and others in the region to bring peace to the region by having recognition of Israel and Israel's right to exist.
Does that assessment square with what you know about that day?
100%. We know about the linkage between Hamas and Iran, and we know that for Iran, the worst scenario is to have normalization between their two biggest foes in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia and Israel. So you don't have to be, you don't have to have hard proof. You know, you only have to have this proof about, although we do have hard proof about the Iranian involvement and what is their motive. I think that they did it intentionally because they wanted to create a public opinion problem for Israel in the Arab world. And unfortunately, they're succeeding with it. We're seeing demonstrations of people in most of the Arab countries, including in Saudi Arabia. But I think that in the long run, they will achieve the opposite from what they wanted, because Saudi Arabia and the rest of the Arab world now see very well, they see it in front of their eyes, that we have the same enemies. Even the Houthis, who are Saudi Arabia's biggest enemies, they're attacking Israel right now. So what is more clear than the fact that there is one destabilizer in the Middle East? It's Iran, and we all have to unify it and be against them.
So we learned a moment before you joined us, that the Israelis had received the list of hostages that Hamas claims to be planning to release tomorrow. Would you characterize that? How would you characterize it? Is that a positive development? Are you skeptical of it?
It's a positive development in the sense that we see that they have an intention of releasing more hostages tomorrow. Like I said before, we can't really trust anything that comes from Hamas. One of the women that was released today, she was already declared by Hamas as deceased. So we can't really take their word. We also heard from there that there will be Americans in this batch, and there wasn't. the warrant. So we can't really trust it. We're just going to have to wait and see until they cross the border. The government of Israel also is not issuing any statement, any information to the public regarding the hostages that Hamas is stating that will be released, because we don't want anyone to be disappointed and we don't want to spread false information.
Okay. Itay Milner, thanks for taking time with us on this very important day. We appreciate it, as always.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.